Hello everyone and welcome back to the 17-part tutorial of how to model a basketball court arena. At this part we will continue with our main body of the hoop, and for this I need to bring back this layer to be editable. So you need to click here, double click, and sorry, and I want to start off by editing this part here. There is pivots that we need to assemble here. We need to make sure that we have at the top here a hole for a pivot, and also here down here. Now after we've done with this, we will need to create also holes for this part and here for these black areas. Now these black areas are normals that's flipped, so we need to reverse them. So I will do this later because this is not really important right now. What I will do, I will grab this one, and here I will click isolation because I want to work only with this. Now at most of the time you won't find me using this. You'll find me eliminate some, just hides the other stuff through layers here. So if you're not used to work with isolation, you will need to be aware of something, but that I will show you in the next few minutes. So what I want to start do with this is, first of all, I want to cut this into half. Sorry. So it's already been divided here at this point, which is the center. Now if it's not for you, please do so and just grab any edge, just like I'm gonna do here. Control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. This will create a nice half cut here, and we will do the same over here. Okay, after we've done this, please grab half cut of this and delete it, and make sure you delete only half cut, not less or more than that. Press F8, and now I'm gonna add a lot of supporting edge loops, and the rule for this is very simple. Again, for edge loop, for each edge loop we have here, I mean like edge like this, subdiv or whatever, you need to add 2 supporting edge loops from each side. Okay, so let's say we have this edge loop here. Okay, I'm gonna shift right click, insert edge loop, choose the tool to insert edge loops, and I'm gonna add one here and one from here. Okay, so this is 3 now. So basically I added 2. Now I'm gonna do the same over here. I'm gonna add one here and one here. Okay, now for the sides I'm gonna add one here like so, one here, and this one, if you take a look down there, you see that it continues all the way down. So you need to be aware that these two are like going all the way through. So therefore, whenever we will deal with those, don't try to add more. Okay. So we've done with those, but we need to continue over here. So here we have 1 and 2, right? This is the corner one, this is the one that we just added, but here we have one that we just added and one that's already been there. But we need to add one more here from this side. So now we have 3, 3, and 3 here. Okay, I'm not really satisfied with this one because it's a little bit far from the others, but that's okay. I'm gonna scroll down here, and I'm gonna add one here, the same thing here. We already have 2 here, so we only need the third here. And we're gonna do the same over here. Add one here, one here. That's all good. Now down there, that, oh, maybe a little bit closer, and one there. Okay, so we have those, and we need one here. that way. Now I'm rotating the camera and I'm adding 2 more. So you can do this that way. You can grab edge here, control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split, so we will have one in the middle. And you wanna go over edit mesh, offset, sorry, mesh tool, offset edge loop. Click here and add those two that way. Okay, so they will be equal on the distance between them. So this thing has been done. Now we need to deal with the inners. So just like we have here center and 2, we want to have center in here also. So grab this edge, control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. This is the lower part. We need also the higher part. So control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. And here we already have, because it's passed through here. Okay, just go all the way through here. So we only need to add the edge loops. So if I'll take a look from here, you need to recognize at least, you know, okay, let's say this that way. Anytime you create anything or modifying or adding edge loop or doing something like so, you need to recognize the function that you do. I mean, here on the mesh tools, we just added offset edge loop, but on the construction history, that will be named as poly duplicate edge. Okay. So if I will expand this, you will see that the offset is 0.98, right? Sorry. So poly split ring is just an edge loop, but this one, the poly duplicate edge, this is the offset one, and we need the offset one. So I want to know that value. I will control C to copy it, hit control C to copy it. I'm gonna go over mesh tools, offset edge loop, and I'm gonna add those two. So I will try to add them, sorry, not here because we already put there, but I'm gonna put them here. Okay, so while I added them, you see poly duplicate edge 5 has been added. So now I can add also one there, and you don't need to be precise, just put it there. And again, we're gonna copy, we're gonna paste, not copy, paste the same value. Press enter. So this one has been fixed, and now we need to fix this. So now the same values that added here for those two edge loops now apply to these and these edge loops, offset edge loops. See? Okay. Now we added all those edge loops only for one reason. This part of the body of this hoop, I want it to be smooth preview, or even just smooth. But in order to make sure that it will be smooth but still look sharp, this is why we add all those supporting edge loops. So now if I will press 3, I want to make sure that everything goes correctly as I thought, and I will have all those edge loops, you know, to maintain those sharp areas. Now for some reason I don't really like how this one looks. This one is a little bit too far from where it should be. I mean this one. So I can shift right click after I double clicked on it, slide edge, and I can slide it here. And yeah, I think I will need to stay satisfied with that one, but I need to add one more edge loop here, it appears. Don't know how I forgot about it. Maybe I just made it too close that way. See, now it's sharp. 1 second. So you can visually see this, all those little problems, and if you see that it's not sharp as it should be, that means that at some point some edge loop has been missing. So press 3 now and take a look here. You can see this also appearing here. Something is just wrong here. We are missing the top one, okay? That one. So now, sorry, everything looks sharp, right? Press F8 because it's on modify mode, making sure that again everything is correct. And now that after we added those edge loops, I can start and work on how or where I want the pivots to be. Now, the thing with this is that if I'll open reference pictures, okay, one of them, I'm gonna go over my desktop, and where did I put all those? Just started to try and organize my desktop because it was a mess. You see, we have pivot here. Now you can see that there's a very little here. This is the top area. There's very little piece of metal that really there. I mean, this pivot is almost covering the whole metal here, the whole surface at this point, and therefore we need to be aware that we need to make sure that this is just as it looks here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add 2 edge loops, one here to maintain this one, a second one here, that way, and I'm gonna add 2 more, but I want to make sure that this surface that I'm gonna add one more here will look like a cube, like even cube. Okay, so those will be even. So just make sure that it looks even. It doesn't have to be that, you know, precise, but try to make sure that it looks like a square, even square. And from the side, of course. Now this is the problem where where I was mistaken. I was relying on this one, but I need to make sure that this is the face, the side view is the side view of this part is the part that I'm looking at, because now this is obviously not a even cube. This one looks like that, but I need these to be this side, so I will undo that. I will undo those two, and I'm gonna add those edge loops more of like that. So with that done, I have a cube here. I'm gonna grab this edge here, control right click, edge ring utilities to edge ring and split. Now I have this X here, okay, so I can right click, choose vertex, grab this vertex, shift right click, chamfer vertex. Okay, with that done, what I will do first is I'm gonna grab these. Okay, I want to duplicate these faces, only this surface here. Okay, I'm gonna go over mesh tools, sorry, here, edit mesh, duplicate. Now I'll just duplicate it. Okay, the surface is still there, but now there are 2 different surfaces like that. So I'm gonna press F8 3 times, and then you will see this one in green wireframes and this one with white wireframes. Hold down Control and select this to unselect it. And this is not a really even cube. I mean, it's nice. It's not even cube still yet. I'm gonna just at least for this model of mine, I will stay satisfied with that. I'm gonna grab this piece and I want to lower it down all the way here to this part. Okay. With that done, I want to make sure that this thing here, I'm gonna change the pivot for it first. Hold down the D, hold down the V, snap this pivot to this vertex point and release. Now I will hold on the V and simply drag this to be snapped to this vertex here. Okay, now as you can see right now, this should be like snapped here to the second line, to this edge. Okay, it's just so we will be able to understand how our shape is structured. So I need enough space to create here a hole for a pivot to be inserted. So I'm just relying on this to make sure that this one and this here, this part and the upper part will be fittable for the same, somewhat the same diameter of this pivot. Okay, so I will leave this there. I don't want to deal with it right now. I want to continue with this thing. And what I will do is I'm gonna right click, choose vertices. I'm gonna fix this area because still yet it doesn't look that good. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit so it will get a better look as a cube, as a square. And this one I will bring this just a little bit up, just those vertices in the middle, that way. I'm gonna right click, choose face, grab this face and scale this up that way. Now you see it's not also an even square, so I'm gonna do this that way and then stretch this thing to make it an even square. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, now I'm on a non-smooth preview mode, so be aware of this. And with that done, what I will do is I'm gonna add 4 edges going through each vertex point here, from this one over the middle here, from this one over the middle here. If you saw other tutorials of mine, you probably know this process. It's just preparation for a hole. So I'm gonna use the multi-cut tool, which I'm not that like it. I don't know why. It's just acting a little bit different than I used to. And I'm clicking one point here. The second point I'm clicking and holding and dragging my mouse until I will find the 50% point. Okay, that way. And release and right click. Okay, now you can see that it's already not that good. I mean, if it was 45 degrees, then it was okay, but it's not 45 degrees. Therefore, the entire shape should be go even more down. Okay, I mean all the vertices here that I was dealing with at the moment earlier, they are not really where they should be. I mean, this is not perfect, but still yet, that's good. Now, the problem with this tool, whenever you click and then click again here and try to match the 50 point, like I'm doing, you won't always get this 50. I mean, it's not snapping to the 50. And this is very annoying. Therefore, what you can do is after you created it, you will see that you have a new polysplit 1, polysplit 2. This is the first one which we created, and the polysplit 2 is the second one. So you can simply bring this back after you created them to object mode and added those values there. Okay, so I will click, second click, hold, drag, find the 50, release, right click, and make it permanent. So you have 4 here. I will press F8, bring in this polysplit. This one is already set to 0.5. See, 0.5, that's okay. We need this to be 0.5 also. 5. So there are we are just fixing them, making sure that they are really where they should be, on the center of each edge. Now I'm gonna right click, choose those edges, those vertices, and I'm gonna stretch them with the scale tool that way. Now I'm gonna press 3 to take a look at this, and there is a problem here. You can see that the geometry here is not correct, and this is mainly because I didn't really started from that vertex point when I created that line. So what I can do, I can grab this vertex here, switch to move tool, hold on the V key, snap it to this, okay, and then grab the other one and snap it over this one as well. Take a look that everything is fine here. If everything is fine, you only grab this with mark with selection, so you get the 3 of them. Go over mesh tools, mesh, edit mesh, merge components. Okay, so this will fix this problem. Now I will press 3 and you can see that that's okay. Still yet, I'm not satisfied with the overall. I think that I can do a little bit more with grabbing those and stretching them down a little bit. Okay, but it's still good, it's still nice, and we can work with this. Now, the diameter of the hole, we can only see it by grabbing this face and delete it. Okay, Now I will press 3, you can see the hole, you can see the circle, and you can also see that the circle is not that perfect. What I will do is I will try to grab those vertices and pull them a little bit down. I'm grabbing those as well, okay, and I will grab those and pull them a little bit down there, and yeah, that's better. So if the diameter is like so, and I needed to leave a little bit space here from the top, okay, from the circle to the top, and the sides are somewhat okay, not really perfect, but that's okay. You need to be on non-smooth preview mode in order to open this up, okay, because otherwise you can be on non-smooth preview mode, and if I will just like that, you can see it's still inside the borders of this edge and this edge, but if I will press 1, you can already see that it's overlapping. I don't want this to happen. So whenever you do this, use the non-smooth preview mode to determine how much open this circle is. Okay, so let's say that this is our borders and we can't do nothing more than that. So we'll leave it there. I'm gonna right click, choose face, double click on this face. Now basically whenever I created all those edge loops, on the fly I created this frame here. You can see this borders of this frame. Okay, I'm just marking them so you can understand what I'm talking about. So with those, this frame is mainly for used for sharpen our edges at these points, but also it's I created for those, I mean these two, I should have only one here, but I created two, and also two here, two edges. So this is maintaining this area so it won't affect this area, the other axis area, okay? Areas, there, I don't know. So what I want to do is only grab whatever inside this frame, and this is those faces. I want to go over edit mesh and duplicate. So now I duplicate them. I will press F8 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now you can see those in green wireframe, those in white wireframe, just as earlier. I will hold down Control and select this to unselect it, and so I will stay only with those faces. Modify center pivot and switch to rotation tool, and I want to grab this and rotate it that way, 180 degrees. Okay, and this is because I need this to be right now connected over this side. Okay, so what I will do, I will right click, choose face, grab this face, this face, this face, and this face, and simply delete them to make room for this part. Now I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna change the pivot here, hold down the D and the V to snap it to this vertex point here. Doesn't matter which one, but just choose one, and then I will hold down the V key and snap it over here. So now they are similar where they should be. I'm gonna grab this, and now I want to do something. I need to patch this into this. So how am I gonna do this? I'm gonna combine them, and when I combine them, this is what will happen. Basically, both of them will disappear. Now, most of you familiar with this problem on the booleans function, right? So if you use the booleans in, I don't know, very extraordinary geometry, things such as this could happen. But this is not the problem. This is not the case here. Remember when we started working on this part, we isolated him, okay? So you need to click on this isolation again, basically to unisolate this, and you will see that this part is there, okay? And now you just need to click on isolation again, right? Now we need to, because I rotate a little bit the camera, I just want to make sure which one is the one that is not patched. So probably this one, yeah, undo that. And I'm gonna right click, choose vertices, and I grab all the vertices on this side. Now I want to try to avoid vertices that are unneeded to be selected. So these unneeded, these unneeded. I need only those two here at the corner. I don't need this one, and I don't need this one. So control to unselect those. I don't need those. I don't need those. And the reason I'm doing this is because when I'm gonna merge those, it could be used a very low threshold. Okay, very low threshold, but still yet to connect vertices that I don't want them to be connected. So I'm trying to avoid this problem. I'm just grabbing the vertices that I need and unselecting those that I don't need. I'm gonna go over edit mesh, merge components, press F8, and now I will try to see if any of them are open. I mean, still not connected or something. Okay, now I'll press F8 and 3 just to see this better. And here, you see those has been merged. So I will undo whatever I did, the merge option, okay? And I will try to avoid selecting those first. Vertices, let's unselect those. Unneeded to be selected. I think, yeah, and now I will merge them. And press F8 and 3. Okay, so the best way is to examine this to see how the geometry is look here when it's smooth preview and how it looks here. If they are the same, that's all good. Now the second one has been, I don't know why it's just there, but don't try to move it because on non-smooth preview mode it's exactly where it should be, more or less. I mean, you can play with it. You can grab this and push it here, and that's all good. So with that done, I'm gonna take a look at my reference picture. Now I'm gonna open another reference picture because I want to show you something. Let's say not this one. Yeah, this one will be fine. No, this one is not gonna be fine. The problem is that there is the whole thing of it is white color. Okay, anyway, you can see here that the lower pivot is very bolded outside, but pay attention that this pivot, we only see it through this this piece of metal and not the shape that we are working right now. So we won't be able to see what the pin that goes through this shape, but we just need to be remember that this bolded pin here is not related, but is not connected to that part that we're working on. And here it does, okay, because it's part of it, and this is mainly what holds this arm. So we need to make sure that this area here is a little bit bold, okay, not like bold outside like here, just a little bit bold here, and yeah, that's the main thing here. So I'm gonna grab this, and what I want to do is I want to double click on this edge here, and I want to double click on this edge as well, and I want to extrude them. Okay, so I'm gonna do mesh, extrude in one division, and pull this a little bit outside that way. Okay, just a little bit that way. Now I will switch to scale tool and simply close this up that way. Now if you want, you can do this even more. Just undo whatever you've done, go back to scale tool, push them outside, and then grab this. So they will be more of like that. Okay, now we only need this from one side. From the other side, I prefer it to be on the same level as, like, if this is the inside, yeah, the inside one, I need it to be open like that because this is part of a pivot, and I have no intention to make it, curved as here. Okay, you will understand me, I think, I hope, and yeah. So let's leave this one as it is right now, and I'm gonna deal with this one, the front one, the side one. I'm gonna click extrude once again, switch to move to scale tool, close it up a little bit that way, and then extrude it again, and then push it that way. Now the reason I'm pushing it that way is to make a pipe that way. Okay, so I have a hole here. With that done, I can simply switch to move tool, hold down the V key, and push it so it will snap to the same level that this edge is. Okay, that this one. Now with that, I can extrude it, switch to scale tool, and do something like so. Okay, I won't close this. I want it to be a little bit open so I can obtain those vertices, and go switch to merge vertex tool and do something like so. So I'm patching them over here, and that's all good. That way. Nice. Okay. Press F8, switch to shift right click, insert edge loops. I'm gonna add one edge loop here for this part, one here, one here, and one here, and I need one here, I think. Yeah. And I'm gonna grab this edge, control right edge ring into this to edge ring and split, and then I will add offset one on top of this, that way. Press F8, switch to selection tool, grab it, press 3, and let's have a look. So this is how it looks here from this side, and this is how it looks from this side. So in this side, I'm gonna add also edge loops, one here, one there, so it's basically 2 for this one here, one there, 2 for this one, and only one here, and press 3, and that's all good. Okay, now about this part here will be stretched. It could be that we will stretch this a little bit more there, so just have a look that way. This part will be mirrored, so it will be a triangle that way. Okay, and we need the smoothed area here and the sharp area of this pivot here inside. I'm gonna zoom out, and at least for now I'm gonna wrap this part of the tutorial. We will continue at the next part because I don't want to make them too long. And yeah, so save this file, and I'm gonna save it as this is I saved it as backstop 8, and after 2 experiments I saved it as 9 and 10, so I will save it as 11, and you do whatever you want. Save as. Okay, thank you for watching. We will continue in the next part. Bye.